So it is 8:45 a.m., August 30th, 20 of the 22. And we're back for more Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel for the PC. We gotta deliver this food to the watchtower here, don't we? That's what we gotta do, man. It's gonna be pretty epic sauce, I'm not gonna lie. So this is the Imperial Army's watchtower. Apparently so. It seems like they got the bare minimum in terms of facilities and armaments. Still, it does have that imposing look you'd expect from a military base. That it does. That it does. Though the atmosphere doesn't seem especially tense. The building itself appears relatively new as well. Well, yeah, it was only built around 3 years ago. Bare minimum or not, it still looks kind of out of place here in the Highlands. Anyway, let's get a better look inside. Probably a good idea. I need to, do one of these with cheese. There you go, good boy. Okay, we're on a horse, it's pretty epic. Probably dismount, you know. How you doing, sir? Private Manning, Craig Manning. I found this book in one of the boxes I was moving earlier. Seemed a shame just to toss it, so why don't you take it? Red Moon Rose Chapter 6! Nice. Ah, you must be the students I've been informed about. This is the Watchtower, or the first line of defense for the border, more or less. If you head up that ramp, you'll be able to see the Republican Army base off in the distance. It's worth taking a look at. Apparently it is. But we got a new book to read. Chapter 6. Chapter 6, Bloodstained Rose. The city of Heimdall was deathly silent. During the day, word had been spread throughout the populace from the Gerard team regarding the culprit behind the vampire murders. Knowing specific details about the perpetrator instilled an even greater sense of fear into the people of the city, making them even more wary of stepping out of their homes at night. That the streets would be empty was an inevitability, and yet, on one dark avenue in the city, a petite woman walked alone, as if to defy all of that. She wore a plain, undecorated dress, and from all appearances belonged to the middle classes. She walked quite quickly, the sound of her shoes against the ground echoing loudly in the empty streets. Her arms were wrapped tightly around her chest, almost as if embracing herself, and she was hunched forward, clearly afraid of something. Of course, it was perfectly natural for her to be afraid, considering that the majority of the victims of the city's serial murder were young women like herself. She looked around restlessly, carefully surveying her surroundings for signs of danger before disappearing down a dark alleyway. The faint moonlight illuminated her profile as she turned the corner and cast a long shadow behind her, which slowly and silently began to enlarge. Gradually, the silhouette extended upwards, the inky depths taking the shape of a man. It loomed behind her. The figure was swathed all in black, with the top half of its face covered. The bottom half remained exposed, revealing a wicked grin and sharp-pointed fangs. It was a vampire, imagine that. A creature of legend. It stood silently behind the woman, very much real despite its supposed mythological standing. From the sable folds of the cloak swaddling its body, it slowly extended a pale hand. The fingers stretched forward, sharp, pointed nails gently swept aside the woman's shoulder-length blonde hair. The tips brushed the back of her neck almost caressingly. The second they did, though, it seemed the sense that something was wrong. Its prey was behaving oddly. It hadn't expected the frail creature before it put up the slightest resistance. She should have frozen at its touch or given in to despair, having no choice but to succumb to the inevitable and have her blood drained. What it felt from her instead, however, was defiance and danger. Defiance and danger. Hasty Stephen style, even. This woman was no prey. Hunter had met hunter. The creature tensed, ready to leap backwards. Too late. It realized another threat radiated from directly beside it. There was no avoiding it. The sound of paving stones cracking resounded in the still night, and its outstretched right arm was suddenly shredded by numerous sharp objects. The vampire let out an involuntary hiss of pain as a wave of silver blades arced through air and flesh, one after another, but the attack wasn't over. The vampire sensed danger from below, too, and the blades, which impaled it into the ground suddenly, arced upward with alarming speed, as if retracing their path through the air. Just as the blades were about to sever its right arm from its body once and for all, it was able to jump out of their way. Evasion style. Clutching its mangled limb, the vampire edged further back to put distance between itself and the woman. It watched balefully with narrowed eyes as the razor-sharp segments that had pierced it soared back over to the bladeless handle in the woman's hand. When she had drawn it, it didn't know. Connected by sturdy steel wires, the segments interlocked one by one, eventually forming a complete blade known as a Templar sword. The third style. Sounds like Reese. She swung it, shaking the blood from its surface. Every last trace of the weakness she had shown earlier when hurrying through the night was gone. She turned around finally, revealing the dignified, expressionless face that had lain on the other side of the sleek, blonde curtain of hair. It was the vampire hunter, Rose. "So you were trying to lure me out, were you?" the vampire sneered. "Heh, such cunning." Its words were sharp, but the delivery fell somewhat tremulously on the rough cobblestones of the empty alley. "You flatter me," Rose said. Her Templar sword still raised in her right hand. She put her left hand into her pocket and pulled out an unbelievably large caliber pistol, greater in size than those used in the army. She aimed it at the vampire's forehead and pulled the trigger without a moment's hesitation. "I'm doing pretty good." The gunpowder flash illuminated the alleyway briefly, and a single blessed silver bullet flew from the muzzle with merciless intent. Such was the force of the discharge that an ordinary person's shoulder would have been dislocated. But Rose didn't so much as twitch. The vampire moved with liquid speed, dodging the projectile, just in time and slipping behind Rose. Not the slightest perturbed by its change in direction, Rose moved as well, and kept the pistol focused on the creature, tracking the vampire's every movement. "You're quite adept at fleeing, if nothing else," she said coolly. "Would you prefer I did something like this, then?" the vampire asked. As it spoke, it fluttered the black garments it was draped in, and they began to expand, the folds stretching to impossible size. Before her eyes, pitiful moans echoed in the dark depths. Rose watched with narrowed eyes as a number of ghouls crawled out from within as if emerging from thin air. 5, 6, 7. Eventually she counted 10 in all. It hadn't even been 24 hours since their previous battle. The vampire couldn't possibly have attacked that many people in that time. Or could he have? Rose's mouth tightened. "I see. And here we believe the reported murders to be the only victims, but that wasn't the case at all. You were abducting others who had no living relatives to notice that they were gone, and keeping them locked up somewhere, weren't you?" "Precisely. With a vampire hunter on the loose, I had to make sure I had some food in reserve. I'd rather not run the risk of going hungry, you see." I mean, it's not like there's a Taco Bell down the corner. The very thought makes me feel physically ill, Rose replied quietly. With a vicious yank, she tore the dress she had worn as a disguise from her body. Underneath it, sturdy leather clothes designed with mobility in mind were revealed. Attached to them were numerous belts holding large guns, knives, and other anti-vampire weaponry in place. It was clear at a glance that she was well prepared for battle, as she should be. The sight of Rose's arsenal coaxed a sickly smile from the vampire. "Go forth, my minions!" And with a wave of his pallid hand, the ghouls leaped forward. "Where are you, Rose?" Alphonse shouted between pants as he ran back and forth across the city, desperately searching for her. Try as he might, though, he could find no sign of the blonde woman. Even his fellow soldiers patrolling the streets had seen nothing. Alphonse had a very specific reason for pursuing this case, and he didn't intend to lose his opportunity to put the past behind him. That was what led him to propose that he and Rose work together, a proposal which she had accepted, and yet despite all of that, she was trying to fight the vampire all on her own. It was too risky, even for her with her high level. His mind was full of worry for her, and that fear conjured forth the image of his parents' dead bodies. Never again. He never wanted to see a sight like that again. Wishing over and over again that Rose was still alright, he raced on, and it was then that he heard a sound that caught his attention, the clash of battle. As soon as the noise reached his ears, he quickly surveyed his surroundings. Actually, I think that was just a fart from Hasty Steven. The source seemed to be an alleyway nearby, without a thought spared for his own safety. He charged into the alleyway. There an unbelievable sight met his eyes. Two ghouls lunged at her. Sheathing her Templar sword into its scabbard, Rose drew a second large pistol in its place. The ghouls swung their fists and ragged nails towards her with inhuman power, but she dodged them gracefully. As she spun out of their range, she aimed one pistol at each ghoul's forehead and pulled the triggers simultaneously, Lara Croft style. Flesh and bone were obliterated instantly. The sheer force of the blast sent the mangled remains somersaulting backwards through the air. The move left Rose slightly unbalanced, and as if seeking to take advantage of that, 3 more ghouls flew at her from outside her field of vision. The mere sound of their movement was enough to alert her, however, and without even turning to face them, she sent 2 more bullets through the heads of the 2 ghouls, charging her from the sides. The third ghoul's mouth distended, seeking to crush Rose's skull with its teeth, but she danced out of reach, holstering the pistols. Fluidly, she then flipped back through the air, drawing her Templar sword at the same time and slicing the lower half of the ghoul's body from the upper half in one swift stroke. You said stroke. She landed gracefully and kicked the ghoul she had just cut in half out of the way without even waiting for its body to hit the ground. That's graphic. 2 more ghouls approached from the fringes, but without waiting for them to draw closer this time, she swung her blade horizontally through the air. It split into pieces, and the countless segmented parts pierced the ghoul's neck. Their heads dropped to the ground like fruit falling from a tree. 7 of the ghouls incapacitated in what seemed like an instant. Rose turned her attention to the defiantly grinning vampire, and the remaining 3 ghouls with him. She drew the 2 pistols from around her waist a second time and sprinted towards them, showering them with the remaining loaded bullets. The vampire evaded the projectiles by using the remaining ghouls as shields. Out of bullets. Out of ammo, sir! Rose drew her Templar sword and swung it in the direction of the vampire's neck in one fluid motion, seeking to decapitate it. The next instant, the high-pitched screech of metal against metal filled the air. The vampire had drawn its own weapon from inside the black garments. It met Rose's blade in midair. The 2 swords locked against one another, filling the air with sparks and leaving them in a stalemate reminiscent of the previous night's battle. "I'm impressed at how unfazed you seem fighting against those ghouls," the vampire said. teeth bared but with a slight curl to its lips. I would have expected a human to at least hesitate when being forced to fight their own kind. They cease to be my kind the moment you drink their blood. They are nothing but soulless puppets now. Why should I hesitate against them? The creature inclined its head almost respectfully at that. Heh, you certainly think like a vampire hunter. The sound of metal against metal continued to reverberate throughout the area. Drinking the blood of the ghouls had allowed the vampire to become even stronger than the previous night. He leveled up! Its once crippled right arm had already healed and regained its original form. Even so, Rose met it without any sign of strain, her strength matching that of the fell creature before her. Rah! The loud war cry split the air, startling both combatants, and a third figure suddenly burst onto the scene. The charging figure was dressed in an army uniform, and brandished a silver sword. It was Alphonse. Or possibly Geralt of Rivia. Catching the vampire off guard, he slashed at its side. Having no experience with the weapon itself, it was a shallow attack and the damage it dealt far from lethal, but it was enough to break the stalemate. Seizing the opening, Rose forcefully knocked the vampire's sword out of the way, and in one flowing motion slashed horizontally from its exposed chest to its left arm. A crimson gout of blood arced from the wound, splashing the cobblestones. Something also sheared off from within the vampire's garments and flew into the air. The vampire clutched its chest in pain, but it was clear that her attack had only grazed it. It seemed that once again the creature's preternatural speed had saved it from mortal injury. Eyes darting from one to the other, it backed away with an audible "It looks like the odds are stacked against me. I will retreat for today," it said. Its outline growing dim, before it turned to mist and vanished into nothingness. After a moment of heavy silence, Alphonse sheathed his sword, staring at the spot where the vampire had previously been. It got away again. Finally looking at him, Rose let out a sigh of disbelief. "Why did you come?" Hearing the coldness in her voice, Alphonse lost his composure. He seized her shoulders in his hands. "Of course I came," he yelled. "What were you thinking trying to fight him on your own? It's too dangerous to take him on without help. It's dangerous to go alone." Her cool blue eyes locked with his. "Dangerous? For me? Do you honestly believe that?" she asked. Her face was as mask-like as ever, but her tone had dropped from chilly to downright glacial. It had a cooling effect on Alphonse's anger. He took a half step back and looked at her from top to bottom. Illuminated by the light of the moon, he could see that she was covered in gore. He released her shoulders and stared down at his own hand. They too were now wet with blood from touching her. And yet, there was not as much of a scratch on her whole body. The filth covering her entirety belonged to the ghouls she had defeated. "I am a vampire hunter, and this is not the first vampire I have hunted. I have killed more of them than you could possibly imagine." Alphonse couldn't deny what she was saying. He had seen for himself the skill and grace she had shown when mercilessly slaying all of those ghouls, unmoved by the fact that they were once humans. She had been an artist in battle, and the sword her paintbrush. What he had witnessed was beyond his comprehension. A struggle between monsters rather than human beings. That was why he could do nothing but stand and watch at first. Unable to intervene, he was lost for words. Rose broke the silence with a short, frosty laugh. "Al, I have no further need of your assistance. I suggest you forget all of this and return to your ordinary life." She then gave a respectful curtsy, much like the one she had when they first met. And thus concludes Chapter 6. Aw, yeah, and such. Liam Irvin style. Okay. See what we got going on around here. So we want to deliver the food here. Do. How you doing, sir? Private Rowan. Nothing unusual on the nothing unusual on the Republican front. Oh, you must be the students we were told to expect. I'm sure there's plenty around here you're curious about, but try to stay out of our way. Don't tell me what to do, sir. I can do whatever the beep I want to do. A messed up Bob Ross. Do. Anybody else here? We can't go over there. You, sir. Private Zats. Bum bum bum. Oh man, I'm bored. Excuse me, you wouldn't happen to be Zats, would you? The one and only. Hey, you're those students from Thor's who are here on a field study or something, right? So what can I help you with? Actually, we came here to bring you something from the settlement. Oh? Something from Kilt then, right? Please tell me it is. Looks like he can't wait to get his hands on what we've got. He must have really been looking forward to it. Nah, yeah, you could say that. Kilt's presents are just about the only thing we have to look forward to out here. Thanks a bunch for bringing it. Hand it over, food parcel. Oh, how I've waited for this. Thanks again. I've been waiting for this! Oh yeah, since you've come all the way out here, how about I show you the view from up top? Might be useful for that field study of yours. Really? That sounds great. Are you sure we're allowed? Nah, no problem. Besides, Lieutenant General Zek said to do what we could do to make your stay a good one. Here, I'll show you the way. Well, thanks. Show me the way, sir. Do it. Don't make me come over there. There's a view for you. So that's the Republican Army's base. That's the one, though as you can tell, it's not exactly a massive outpost. For one thing, the bulk of their forces are made up of tanks, and tanks don't do too hot out here on the highland terrain. You wouldn't think so. That's true. And yet they build a base up here anyway, just to keep up appearances. It's like a staring match between two stubborn children. Pretty much. Usus? Nah, yeah, that's pretty spot on. Still, lately we've had airships from both armies cruising around here. So we can't let our guard down too much either. Still, if you ask me, the chance of anyone starting a war in a place like this is pretty near zero. Anyway, relax and enjoy the view while you're here. Chances like this don't come along every day, after all. Indeed. Thanks for showing us the way. We're grateful for the opportunity. Glad to hear it. Oh yeah, would you mind giving this to Kilt when you go back to the settlement? We get Erebonian wine. What might this be? Oh, just a little something for me for sharing her things with us. I'd feel kind of bad if I didn't at least try and give her something in return. Ah, I understand. We'll be sure to pass it along for you. Thanks. We gotta go back there anyway to get the next questicle. Thanks for delivering that stuff from Kilt. Make sure that wine gets to her, okay? I'm on it. Erebonian wine. A token of thanks from Zats. It needs to be delivered to Kilt. Yes, it does. Assuming we don't decide to imbibe it ourselves. Mwah. Can we go in here? No, we cannot. Alright, back to the settlement. Leah Mervyn style.
Let's get going.
Whee! Because that's the optional quest, and now we gotta do the required quests. Which the first one we're gonna do, I think we gotta go talk to the doctor. Okay, that was fun. Let's fight an enemy just for fun.
We have the advantage.
My turn.
I mean, we're already over leveled, but it is nightmare mode, so
Go.
you pretty much want to be over leveled.
Very well.
Very well, and such. Bum 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 bum. Hiya!
Go. It's my turn.
I think it actually is his turn, though. Fun fact. Aerial!
Marcus, activate.
It's my turn.
It's my turn.
Yeah.
Aerial!
Now.
Silverthorn! Boom! Defeated!
Go.
Alright, we can try out Flame Tongue. We have 120 AP. Flames erupt from the ground, skewering enemies. 20% chance of burn. Area medium.
Marcus, activate.
Pretty much a better
Very
version
well.
of, what's it called? Heat Wave. Flame Tongue! Oh! Damn, that's powerful.
Okay, it's safe for now.
Tachi style. We got twice the amount of experience because of our tactical prowess.
Making progress.
I'm a level 29. Do 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 do. Good times. Na 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 na.
Yeah.
Back to the settlement. Since we got all the chests and all that nonsense. We want to go over this way. It's a big boy.
What a large monster. We'll need to be careful.
Quiet you. Not that large. I've seen bigger. Excuse me, sir. Got stuff to do. Do 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 do. This area definitely reminds me of Suikoden 3. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Nomadic settlement. Alright. Do 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 do. Yeah, see the doctor's right there. So we want to go there after we cash this in. Do 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 do. Honey, I'm home. And I brought you some wine. How you doing? Oh, did you deliver it already? Yeah, the soldier we talked to was really happy about it, too. He even asked us to easy for me to say. He even asked us to deliver this to you as thanks. Reen handed over the Arabonian wine. Aw, I always tell them there's no need for thanks, too. I'll let the men have this tonight, then. Right, then. You all saved me a bit of trouble. It's not much, but please take this. You get 10 red beast flesh. Okay. 10 white beast flesh. We can't possibly accept this. Oh, please, there's no need to be modest. You've earned it. Anyway, I wish you the luck with the remainder of your field study. Thanks, Kilt. Quest delivery to the watchtower completed. Good times. Thanks again for helping me out today. Good luck with the rest of your field study. Alright. That's one quest down. Kilt entrusted us with a parcel of food that we need to deliver to a soldier named Zatz at the watchtower. When we gave Zatz the parcel, he gave us some Erebonian wine in exchange. We should head back and give it to Kilt. We gave Kilt our report and the wine, completing her request. Alright. Let's go talk to the doctor. See what's going on there. Do-do-do-do-do. It's the doctor's home. Oh, what up, Doc? Oh, there's Coden. Daddy's medicine is the best. I helped him pick out the herbs for it, too. He said I did a good job. Is that kid wearing loafers? Kind of a weird thing for a kid to be wearing, but whatever, man. Whatever you gotta do. Armor. Oh, hey there, Gaius. I see your friends from the Academy are here, too. Good to meet you all. I'm Amr, this settlement's doctor of sorts. Sounds like a tough job. It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. I'm pretty sure Hasty Steven's not going to do it. Even more so if he happens to be the only one here able to fill the position. Yeah, good point there, Eustace. He makes all sorts of medicine for essentially everyone here in the settlement. We're all heavily indebted to him. Come on now. You all do far more for me than I do for you. I don't know about all that, but you never know. That aside, don't hesitate to stop by again while you're staying here. I'll provide you with anything you're looking for. Thanks, that should be a big help. We'll be relying on you should the need arise then. Well, that should be enough for introductions. If it's alright with you, can we move on to the topic of my request now? Yes, the request. Of course. Allow me to explain then. I'm in the middle of whipping up some medicine for the horses here, you see? I'd like you to collect a medicinal herb I need for that. Oh, okay. Are the horses ill? Oh no, nothing like that. It's more of a vaccine to prevent a certain illness the horses here can catch. It's the horse version of COVID, didn't you know? So it's an endemic disease then. Yeah. The chances of the disease spreading are always at their highest during the summer. Kinda like swine flu. Because of the intense heat. It's dangerous enough to be fatal if we leave it alone. That's awful. You can prevent it with proper treatment, however, correct? Yes, which is why I need you to collect some eponagrass for me. Wasn't that funny? Just look for some plants with yellow flowers in the southern region of the Highlands. We gotta go grass gathering, essentially. You shouldn't have too much of an issue finding it with Gaius around, at least. In terms of how many I need, I think 5 should do. Let me just note that down. We gotta take notes, because it's gonna be on the test. Okay, got it. We should make haste, then. We'll head out now, Amr. Thanks, and good luck. Quest turning over a new leaf started. Dun 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 such. Do 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 do. You'll find Epona grass in the southern region of the Highlands. Good luck. Thanks, General Pepper. Appreciate that, sir. Alright, let's see what we got going on here. So this one shouldn't be too difficult or anything. Whoa, whoa, no, don't do that. Don't you welcome me to the chat room, sir? I'll freaking kick your ass. I'll do it, too. I don't give a crap.